באמת שמחים למפגש הזה, שבו אנחנו מציינים את אחד העובדים הבכירים של הג'וינט העולמי, את אלן גיל, שנבחר להוביל את הג'וינט העולמי, ואנחנו רוצים לחזק את ידיו ולאמץ אותו.
To take on the stewardship of such a storied organization as the Joint, whose name has come to represent the realization of the Jewish community's highest ideals, is an enormous honor and also a great responsibility. Alan is exactly the right person to take on this mission and lead this organization, and I'm sure he'll continue to ensure that JDC is there for all those in need during his tenure in New York. In many ways, the goals of the Joint match those of the Embassy of the United States. The Obama administration is a strong proponent of the types of partnerships between government and civil society and the private sector because we recognize that the government is not nearly as effective on its own as it is when it builds those partnerships. And by doing that, the Joint helps both realize Jewish ideals here in Israel, but also helps Israel be a stronger partner for the United States. Alan, I want to wish you the greatest success in your new position as you lead JDC in continuing this Avodat Kodesh, this holy work that uplifts humanity and which you undertake with painstaking excellence. Good luck.
Alan, I think in many, many ways, you are a role model for a Jew that understands the deep relationship between the diaspora and Israel and Jerusalem in its heart. It is amazing how much people love you and trust you and believe that you are the best leader JDC can have. So congratulations. For me, when we have to consider doing something in a proper way, I want to make sure, in one way, shape, or form, the Joint is engaged and involved. Because it is the best venture philanthropy one can consider. And I know that I could depend on JDC for successful pilots that have breath behind them. Let's look around at this network here. Your success is our success, and our success is the success of the Jewish people.
As many of you know, the Ruderman Family Foundation has been involved for many years with the JDC as a partner in several major initiatives focused on the inclusion of people with disabilities in our society. However, what many of you do not know is that Alan served as my mentor and helped guide me through my first years after making Aliyah, before our foundation had any involvement with the JDC. I believe Alan is a broad thinker, a Zionist, and deeply cares about the future of the Jewish people in our homeland. I believe that Alan does what he does, not just because it is good for the Joint, but because it is good for the Jewish people. Alan's work ethic is unparalleled in the world of Jewish nonprofits, and the JDC is lucky to have him as their new executive director. Alan, I will miss our quiet conversations in this building, but I'm glad that you are the one that will be guiding this most important organization in the Jewish world. You have huge challenges ahead of you, and the Jewish people will face huge challenges during your leadership of the JDC. But I can think of no one better to lead us. B'atzlacha.
מייצג את הדור החדש בארצות הברית, אני מקווה, כי הוא עלה עשה בזכותו עצמו, והוא השתקע פה, ועכשיו הוא יוצא בשליחות מטעם המדינה הריבונית של העם היהודי. מי שיוצא מטעם המדינה הריבונית יוצא עם נטל רב, נטל רב שהוא צריך להביא לא רק את הכבוד למדינה, אבל גם את ההשתתפות בהקמת העם היהודי. אתה יוצא לא רק כמי שבא הנה מתוך סיבה שהוא רצה לעלות, אבל גם מתוך סיבה שהוא רוצה להעלות.
I want to start first with you, Ralph. Ralph was a Gibor Israel V'Am Yehudi. He was one of the founders of the State of Israel. He had done so much for our people, for this country. When I was offered the opportunity, I went to see Ralph. And I went to Ralph and I said to Ralph, Ralph, you were 62 years old when they came to you. You had done so much for the Jewish people. And I recited everything he had done, and of course he went like this. And I said, why would you go? Why would you leave? And of course it was an evening, and of course in the evenings we always drink good whiskey together. And he leaned forward and he looked at me, he took a sip, and he said, the joint called me. Who was I to say no? And I was struck by the simplicity and the brilliance and the truth that Ralph put forth. And that was it. That was it. With the full support of my family, I went home and I said, I'm in. And here I go. And today, what I want to do is invite you to join with us as partners, real partners, in taking full advantage of an unprecedented situation in Jewish history, which is we have today total global Jewish opportunity. And that is a huge opportunity, and yet it's a huge responsibility. And that's why I'm excited, because I absolutely know that there is no limit to what we can achieve if we don't worry about credit, but we worry about getting the job done. And that's why there's no limit to what I will go for in terms of creating partnerships, real, meaningful partnerships, with all of you in the room and all those who couldn't be here today. And I hearken back to a quote that David Ben-Gurion gave to the press that had the chutzpah in 1950. 1950. We all know what was going on here in 1950. To ask Mr. Ben-Gurion, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, look out 50 years from now to the year 2000 and tell us, what will the Jewish people and what will the state of Israel look like? And Mr. Ben-Gurion looked out and he said, the state of Israel will be measured always by its moral character and its human value. And that's exactly what I promise you I will keep with me day in and day out as I move to New York for the shlichut. Our hearts, our families, our lives are here. And I will remember that we strive not to be a better JDC. We strive to be all that we can be. Thank you very much. Bless you.